Hello everyone, I'm Joe Cronin and welcome to the Toss-Up. It's been quite a while since I've been up here, so it's definitely good to be back co-hosting for year 2. Riley got things going with a great discussion last week on college football, but this time around we're going to put a little spin on this show. I'm not going to spoil it here, so stick around and roll that intro because it's all next on the Toss-Up. On July 26th, the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris began as approximately 10,500 athletes took their talents to the global stage. Whether it was the iconic Turkish sharpshooter pose, the sharpshooter himself Stephen Curry silencing that home crowd in the gold match, or the 20 Indiana Hoosiers that were represented in these games, it was an Olympics to remember. Joining me here today is the first ever triple athlete panel, as the three alongside me represented both the United States and Indiana University this summer. We got swimmers Anna Peplowski and Josh Matheny, as well as diver Carsen Tyler. What a panel we have. 3 Olympians. Anna, you got your silver medal rocking here. I'm very excited to be able to share this moment with you guys. And first I'll ask Anna, to you first. You're back in the States. How does it feel?
It feels rewarding to be back and being back in my home country and seeing everyone again. It's truly been awesome.
Carsen?
It's great to be back.
Feel good after that long trek out in Paris?
Yeah, I feel like I was away from home for too long. So.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. The love just from the United States was so incredible, and so to finally be back on home soil and feel it in person is even better.
I promise we'll talk lots about your time in Paris. I do want to flashback first. June, the qualifiers, both in swimming in Indianapolis and diving that was out in Knoxville, Tennessee. Josh, I'll start with you. The moment that you hear your name, you're elevated on that platform at Lucas Oil Stadium, that you are heading to Paris, what were those feelings like?
Just pure relief. As a swimmer, every 4 years you have a chance to make the Olympic team, and it's very stressful leading into it. That whole year, everything kind of comes down to that 1 or 2 races that you have the opportunity to make. And so to kind of hear your name and be able to say I'm an Olympian afterwards is just pure relief is the only way to really put it.
Carsen, you were on the diving side out in Knoxville. What were those emotions like when you qualified for 2 events? First American to qualify for both the 10-meter platform and 3-meter springboard since 2000. How does that feel?
Oh, it was just such a sigh of relief to finally punch my ticket to Paris. And I was definitely excited, but I knew I had to compete the next day. So that was a little bit of worry, but yeah, we got through. It was just a dream come true to hear my name called as becoming an Olympian.
Anna, you were also in India on the swimming side. Just what were those emotions like?
Yeah, I mean, like Josh said, the whole year leading up to it was really, really hard mentally, I would say, but all in preparation for that 1 or 2 races you have in front of 25,000 people was a lot of pressure, but once you accomplish that, you look back on all the sacrifices you made and everything you made in preparation for that moment. So like they said, it was really relieving.
I wasn't out in Knoxville, but how cool was that having an Olympic-sized swimming pool in an NFL stadium? Got to see some of the trials happening there. I guess if you two have any thoughts about those swim trials that were held in Indy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Walking out on stage with 25,000 people in front of you felt like you were front stage of a concert, and especially going out individually for your race, it almost puts more pressure on you than the race itself, just knowing that there's so many people watching you. But I really liked it. I thought it was kind of a different level of hype compared to the regular dual meets that we have or home meets that we'll have when there's only let's say probably about 50 people. So it was a different level of pressure, but it was good.
Had that big video board too.
Yeah, you filmed the video beforehand of the walkout, and yeah, it's just really cool because you can take a peek up and see yourself up there. And the craziest part to me was you would dive into the pool, and normally when you dive in, it kind of goes silent because you're underwater, but the crowd was so loud that I dove in for the first semifinal and could still hear the crowd so clearly. It kind of almost surprised me. I was like, whoa, this is the real deal. And so it's I've never had that for a swim meet before. And so it was incredible, and kind of it being almost like a home meet, just being from kind of Bloomington, it felt like we were getting a little extra love every time we'd walk out on the pool deck.
Definitely was cool seeing all those Indiana kids start to punch their ticket in their home state, or whether they were from Indiana or not, or going to Indiana University. Now, flash forward, Paris is there. I mean, you've completed and competed in an Olympics. Just what are the emotions around that? How does that feel to be able to call yourself an Olympian?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still riding that Olympic high. You know, it's been so great feeling all the love from my family and my hometown and everybody here back in Bloomington and the university, and I just feel like it's just been so rewarding to know all the hard work that I put in. It finally paid off, and being able to accomplish something that I've been dreaming about since I was 8 years old, swimming on a summer swim team with a pool that had 4 lanes. So it's really rewarding to see like how far I've been able to come.
Carsen?
Yeah, truly a dream come true just to be able to go out there and compete. Something I wasn't really sure what to expect, but just being there, being in that environment, and finally able to call myself an Olympian was something I've been dreaming about my whole life.
Yeah, like they said, I mean, dream come true. Like everyone dreams of it their whole life, and sometimes it still doesn't feel real. To have that goal for so long and to finally have like achieved it, sometimes you kind of forget that you just did that like a month ago, and it still hasn't quite set in for me.
So the opening ceremony, the boat ride out in the rain, you had LeBron James carrying the torch like George Washington crossing the Delaware River. I guess if you were on the boat, if you remember, like, what was that like? Were you on the boat?
I wasn't on the boat just because swimming started the next day, but we were watching it live in the Team USA room, and it just looked like an experience of a lifetime, and I wasn't even there. It was pouring rain, and they just looked like they were all experiencing such a core memory that it was really awesome.
You could just hear the shriek of the bald eagle. Carsen, were you on the boat?
Yeah, I was there. Just being with all the other athletes from around the world was just crazy to be there. Meeting LeBron James, Steph Curry, those were like the highlight of my life. And then seeing all the landmarks was obviously incredible. So it was just a great experience.
Josh, were you on the boat?
Unfortunately, like Anna said, USA Swimming,
Yeah.
most swimmers aren't on the boat. But yeah, we watched it at the USA House, and it was, just chills even just watching it on TV. So,
Carsen, you brought up how you've met some athletes. I do want to ask, who was probably the coolest person you got to meet out in Paris? Josh, we'll start with you.
Yeah, this is kind of a swimming specific, but Chad Leclos, he's an Olympic gold medalist in the 200 fly. He's famous because he beat Phelps in 2012, and he just kind of has that iconic photo of him like looking at Phelps while they're swimming. So I got to hang out with him for a little bit, which was kind of a cool experience just because growing up, that was such like an impactful moment.
Did he share some like wisdom with you, or like pass down any knowledge?
Not as much knowledge as he was pretty cool. Just kind of talking about himself and kind of just asking me questions. It was just kind of surreal for him to be asking about me.
Yeah.
When it was like for so long, it was like how cool he was. So yeah, the biggest takeaway was just how cool he was. Just super cool.
It's really cool to see some of these idols that you might have kind of come down to earth. And Carsen, favorite person you met?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Okay, walk us through meeting Steph Curry. This is the baby-faced assassin, the guy that silenced Paris in the gold match. Just how did you meet him?
So it was at the opening ceremonies right before we left to go to the boats, and we were all like gathered together in the courtyard. And so I just walked up to him. I was like, "What's up, Curry? I'm Carsen. Nice to meet you. I'm a diver." And he was like super nice. And just asked me what sport I did, stuff like that. And I don't know, I've always looked up to him as an athlete, and it was just surreal to be able to meet him in person.
That's so cool. Anna, favorite athlete you've met?
Yeah, I would have to say Simone Biles.
The GOAT.
We were doing some recovery in our Team USA building, watching fencing on the TV, and we just had a small conversation about like sports and stuff and being there in the village. And it's super cool like seeing these people on TV and then being in a room with them, having a conversation with them. It puts into perspective how they're just any other person just like I am. And well, not any other person, but it was super cool to be able to chat with her for a little bit.
And what a journey she's had from last Olympics to this one, being able to kind of share some of those moments that she had possibly.
Yeah, super inspirational. We didn't have any like deep talks or anything, just very surface level, but it puts into perspective how like if you just say hi to anybody in the village, they'll probably be more than happy to have a conversation with you. So
I do want to talk about the specific events you all were in and just how it felt. Like, what were the nerves, I guess? You know, you're competing for your country now, not trying to qualify.
Yeah, so I was on the morning relay of the 4x200, so everyone on that morning relay was fighting for a spot for the finals. So I kind of knew however I performed in the morning would kind of be a depiction if I would be on the night relay. So going into it, I just wanted to have as much fun as I could, seeing all the people from other countries in the stands and racing Brazil and Hungary next to me. So that was super cool, racing other countries rather than my USA teammates like at trials. So it was just an experience to remember forever.
Carsen, what were the feelings of repping that, United States?
Just to be able to compete and represent the USA is always an honor. And to do it at the Olympics is just, what more can you ask for? The energy of the crowd and just the level of competition really elevated my performance. So it was
Best
great.
athletes in the world.
Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah. So in the individual 200 breast, you have to go prelims, semifinals, and finals. And I don't think I've ever been more nervous for a race than I was for the prelim swim. Just as the first Olympic swim, kind of first time getting in the water, it's super nerve-wracking because you don't know what to expect almost. And by the time I got to the final, I was very excited. I got to race Leon, which was always fun because he was kind of the poster child of the Olympics. So just getting to kind of race him was something special in itself.
Was it really cool seeing all these globally renowned athletes just competing right next to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we get a little bit of exposure to it here with college swimming, but not near as much as the Olympics. You have people that are swimming every event there. Sometimes even countries send people that can't compete or can't finish a certain race just because of all the different countries that are there that don't get to train in the United States. But it's cool to see the different exposure that we got.
I want to transition a little bit with the sport specifically that you all participate in. And yes, you were on Team USA and represent Indiana as a team, but this is a sport that is very daunting on the mind, whether it's the hard training virtually every day. I mean, when you're actually competing, you're under the water or on a platform ready to dive. I guess just with the mental part of the game, how important is it to be mentally sound going into an event and even afterwards? Josh, I'll start with you.
Yeah, my favorite saying and kind of involving mental health for swimming anyways is a happy swimmer is a fast swimmer, which kind of goes around of just at practice every day, you kind of rely on your teammates, your coaches, and just kind of the atmosphere that Indiana has kind of established of a hard training group, but an enjoyable one. And there are certainly days where you're kind of down in the dumps and, not thrilled. And that's kind of when you need to rely on your teammates and kind of look for guidance from maybe some of the older people or even the coaches. But it's definitely, like you said, swimming's a very grueling sport. And so, like I said, happy swimmer is a fast swimmer. And so the main goal is to just kind of try to enjoy the sport as much as possible.
I like that phrase. Was that you came up with it, or do you have someone else?
No, I've heard it for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
So I like to share it because I think it definitely defines the way I like to swim.
Yep.
I definitely find I am a much faster swimmer when I'm in a good headspace and in a happy environment.
Carsen?
Yeah, I think having fun is a huge part of it. I mean, it's easy to get bogged down in training and have hard days like that. But just remember why you started, is to have fun. And if you can go back to that, I think it will bring you a lot of joy. And if you are feeling that way, just have a conversation about it. I think that's the best way to work through those mental health problems and get attention to it and reduce the stigma.
And any thoughts on some of the mental struggles within the sport?
Yeah, I think swimming at IU, people aren't afraid to speak up how they feel, which we've created this great culture that allows people to speak up how they're feeling if they had a bad practice, if they had a great practice, whatever it might be. But something that I always like to go by is leave it all at the pool. So if you had a great practice, come down from it, get prepared for the next day. But if you had a horrible practice and you come home and you're upset about it, leave it at the pool, focus on something that you might be excited about coming up. So just leave it all at the pool.
How long did you say did it really take to turn this mentality, or is it still something that you consistently work on through training, as all of you are seniors, plenty of experience under your belt, but still trying to learn some of that mental aspects?
Oh yeah, practicing it every single day. I think the sport of swimming is just as much hard physically or just as hard as mentally as it is physically. So I think sometimes people forget that the mental side of things plays a big toll. And if you're a happy swimmer, then everything will fall into place easier.
If you have anything else to add, feel free.
I think she covered it pretty well.
Yeah. That was good. Great answers, Anna. But I do want to transition. And with, like you mentioned, this IU community on both the swimming and diving side, there's been an IU diver in the Olympics since 1964. What a feat to continue that going. But having that community in Paris, here in Bloomington, just how important is that? I mean, you had Coach Lou's and both Coach Johansson's out in Paris. How important is that to have this lineage alongside you?
Yeah, it means everything to me. And I remember I sat down freshman year with Coach Ray, and he was telling me, he was like, do you want to make the Olympics? And I was like, of course, like, haha, not really thinking that much into it of making the team. It's always been a dream, but really dialing in on actually putting in the sacrifice to make the team, and he's done everything in his power to get me to that point, and just continuing on the legacy of IU swimming and IU sports and representing Indiana University as a whole has been great.
Having Coach Johansson out in Paris and then a few other alumni, just how important is it for yourself to get prepared when you're competing on the Olympic stage?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, and to have those people there with me is just like, you can't ask for better support. And as well as Drew, his wife is also a coach, and she was there too, and so that was really helpful to have both of them there, because they're just great minds in the sport. And just all the support, the alumni were there cheering us on, just wanting to make them proud and put on a good representation of IU.
Josh, I want to ask you about the alumni, and specifically with your event. One of the world's best, Lily King, is a breaststroker. Just having her and some of the other alumni just kind of pass down some tutelage.
Definitely, especially Lily. These past couple of years, Lily and I have gotten a lot closer just because we train very similar events and we have almost the same practice schedule. So we have gotten a lot closer, and I think that's been really beneficial for me. Coming in, same thing with Anna. I sat down with Ray, and Ray was like, I will do everything I can to get you on the Olympic team. But to be able to see somebody that has had that kind of success in this program and kind of seeing the way they practice, the mindset they have, the way they just do everything, is something that even a coach really can't put into words, or like can't really make you do. But seeing Lily do it kind of makes it like real, and makes you realize like the different things that you really need to do. So yeah, having Lily and even Cody there, just the both of them, just knowing the experience they have and the things they've been through, have definitely like shaped my career at Indiana so far.
There is such a strong Hoosier presence. Like I mentioned earlier, there are 20 total Indiana University, whether active Hoosiers or alumni, that were at the Olympics. And before we head to break, just a quick fire question. Favorite part of Paris? Josh, we'll start with you.
Probably our men's 400 freestyle relay. My roommate was on the relay along with some of my other really good friends, and they won gold. So watching them win gold was really exciting, and like my voice hurt the next day because I was screaming so loud for them.
As it should.
Yeah, but that was such like a highlight of my like Olympic experience, is watching my friends succeed at something like that.
Carson?
It was probably watching the gold medal match for the basketball.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Courtside, too, which
was
just so crazy.
Having Wemby on the court, too?
Yep.
That's iconic. And a favorite part of Paris?
It was probably the last night of Paris when our women were doing the 4x100 medley relay, and they broke a world record and won gold in that event. So it was super inspiring to see them, and top off the gold medal count to Australia was super amazing.
So many iconic moments from this past Olympics, but we are going to take a quick break, and coming up afterwards, I'm going to challenge the minds of these Olympians on the games they just completed. That's right, Olympic trivia is up next.
The Toss-Up, Fridays on IUSTV.
Welcome back to the Toss-Up. As promised before, we have some Olympic trivia coming your way. Are you three ready to get your minds tested a little bit with some trivia of the games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Let's get going right away. The first question is, when were the first ever Olympics held?
776 BC.
Wow, that was perfect. I was gonna hope for a relative guess. Best guess would have gotten the points. And now, where were they held for bonus points?
Greece.
Greece. Do you have the city?
Athens.
It's close. Think where the name Olympics came from.
Olympia.
Greece.
Yeah.
Anna's right out of the gates, 2 points. All right, this is a bit of a long-winded question, so do your best to listen. Johnny Weissmuller was a 1920s Olympic swimmer and a winner of 5 gold medals. He was later turned actor where he starred as a jungle dweller raised by apes in 12 movies throughout the 50s. What role did he play? What movie series? It's a jungle dweller raised by apes. That's the best hint I can give you.
Tarzan?
Tarzan, yes, Josh. Reading up on that question, I had to do it. It spoke home to me. Not that I'm raised by apes or anything, but I thought it was funny. Next question. So 2 points, Anna, 1 point, Josh. Carson, this is your time to shine.
Okay.
What year of the Olympics had every participating nation send a female athlete? It was recent, relatively.
2008.
Close.
2012.
2012. Where was it?
London.
London. I'm going to give that one to Carson.
Hey,
London,
let's
2012. Every participating nation sent a female athlete. So, Anna's still in the lead with 2 points. Carson and Josh, 1 apiece. Question number 4. Michael Phelps, the icon in swimming, has the most Olympic medals. How many does he have?
28.
Boom.
Oh.
That's too
28.
easy. Now, follow-up question.
23. I already know where you're going with it. 23
Stole it right
golds.
from me. Couldn't even answer it. All right, Josh, 3 points. You take the lead. Another swimming question. I'm sorry, Carson. Katie Ledecky holds the top blank amount of times in the 1,500-meter freestyle. It's ridiculous.
12.
Higher.
15.
Higher.
14.
20?
Oh.
20.
Yeah.
Katie Ledecky holds the top 20 fastest times, and that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Didn't she break another record this past Olympics? I don't understand how she does it. So Anna and Josh are tied with 3. Carson, you're at 1. You got some chances here.
Got
We're
some
wrapping it
catching
up
to
here.
do.
Basketball question. Who has the most gold medals in men's basketball?
U.S.
Who, though? Specific
LeBron
person.
James?
No.
Is it recent?
He was on this team.
Is it Devin Booker?
Devin Booker? Devin Booker's like in his 20s still.
Is it Kevin Durant?
It's Kevin Durant. Josh takes the lead at 4. Anna at 3. Carson at 1. Try your best here. You can catch up right here. The first modern Olympics was held in what year?
Modern?
Modern Olympics.
1896.
Yes.
What?
Wow, you've been reading up on this. You stole all the questions right from me. Do you know where it was?
No idea.
It's close to your, where the first ever Olympics were.
Berlin.
No.
Barcelona?
Same country as the first ever Olympics.
Athens. Greece.
Athens, Greece.
Yeah.
So I believe Josh is our winner of Olympic trivia. Anna, you don't have to give up your silver medal because we'll give him a fake gold medal at some point. But thank you so much, you 3, for joining. I had the absolute pleasure of being able to talk to 3 Olympians. It's not often that you can say that every day. So thank you to Anna, Carson, and Josh for taking their time to come out here to the studio to talk today. But that's going to wrap up another episode of The Toss-Up. Be sure to follow along with our socials at IUSTV Sports on both Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to toss it up to Riley, see if he catches it for gold, silver, or bronze, or maybe he doesn't finish podium. But we'll see you next time.